I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. I'm just a kid and... Holy smokes. Another episode, and guess what? It's been a full year of Flannel on Flannel with Daniel. All I can say is thank you to everyone that's supported me and helped me reach my goals, because I've reached my goals for the most part, and I'm very proud of myself for all the hard work that I've done, but the hard work that's paid off because you've enjoyed the show. I really appreciate it, and I can't believe that I've been so lucky to have you as an audience. But today I want to welcome Tasha Blake, the beautiful, gorgeous girlfriend of mine, smarty pants, obsessed with serial killers that may or may not end up killing me in my sleep or something. I'm sure she's had ideas. But she's here with me. We're gonna talk a bit, and then we're gonna get into a bit of a surprise, because I didn't actually plan on doing this weekend, and I just had an inkling for something, and it's I think it's a well thought out theory that I've always had, but we'll get into that later. So hello, Tosh, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Just wanted to say happy Daniversary or happy Flann-iversary.
Daniversary, Flann-iversary. Sounds good to me. I had the flannel universe. Yeah, the Flannel on Flannel universe is now expanding and everything. Holy shit.
It's real soft.
Yeah, we do
Flannel
a show
universe.
together now. Wow. Holy smokes.
Well,
Yeah, cheers. You know what? Let's cheers it.
great. Thanks for having me as your guest.
This show is actually sponsored by Tasha Blake's beautiful paintings.
Oh, yeah. You're like looking around like, there's some in here. They're just not in the frame.
They're not in frame. They're everywhere in this place other than behind us right now.
I know. It makes me feel like a bit of a narcissist.
We've shown them plenty of times on our other shows, but where can we find the paintings and your contact info?
Yeah, you can find me on the social medias, Instagram at catharsis.on.canvas.
Meads.
The social medias.
Wow. It's just like I thought earlier today, like Zoe couldn't be shortened even more.
Zoe,
but Meads is just as long as media.
No, it's only one syllable. Media is 3 syllables.
Doesn't mean that it's not easier to say.
It's like when people used to call me Tasha, then Tosh, and then T. And I'm like, Tosh and T is the same amount of syllables. Like, I prefer Tosh, but...
Yeah, and like if I started calling you T-Dog, like that's just making extra work though. So for the listeners that don't know where you're from Simcoe.
Yeah, Simcoe, Ontario.
Yeah. How was it growing up there?
A little boring. It's also known as Norfolk County. So it's like
Norfolk.
And we had Mumford and Sons play in Norfolk County a few years ago, and they came up with this slogan called "Ain't no folk like Norfolk," and I hate it. But yeah, it's like a bunch of small towns all clustered together, so there's a lot of rivalry. But like as a teenager, it was fun because there was a lot of parties in the woods and stuff like that. We weren't like hicks or anything. It was just, everyone knew who everyone was, and it's a pretty good community.
Yeah, I've met quite a few people from there, and I'm always surprised of like what kind of people they are.
Just like the best people.
I didn't say that.
Well, like Port Dover is really close. People know where Port Dover is because of Friday the 13th. And I'm not talking about Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th. I mean a motorcycle rally. But like both of my parents grew up there and lived there their whole lives, and it's crazy. It's weird to think of people doing that still, you know?
Oh,
Most
yeah.
people's parents have at least traveled. My parents never left. But I left as soon as I could.
Yeah, but they were born and raised there?
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Yep. Yep. And their parents were.
Sometimes that's just what people do.
It is totally. But I'm glad to be like, I live the furthest away from home of anyone in my whole family, extended family, but it's not even that far. It's just that tells you everyone stays
Yeah.
like with their roots.
Yeah. And you have a sister,
Yes. I have an older sister.
and now you have a niece.
Yeah. I have a nice niece.
Nice niece?
Yeah.
Is she pretty cool?
Yeah. QBC. That's what we
QVC?
call her.
QVC?
QVC. QBC. Her birthday party like last year was the event was called QBC Turns 3. I was like, it's so good.
I feel like she's gonna be like some badass like rock star or like football player somehow. QVC.
Oh yeah, she's gonna just be a tank. She's gonna be like
She's gonna
the
be
quarterback.
She's gonna be the quarterback at QVC, wherever the fuck that is. There's
Yeah.
definitely a university out there that's famous, has a good football team called QVC.
Like Quinn the quarterback sounds pretty intimidating.
Yo, Q.
Yo, Q.
You QB on my team.
I mean, I have high hopes for her, and that's definitely at the top of the list now.
I really wish. Okay, so those Simpson shoes. I really wish that she was still tiny, so I could have gotten her these sweet ass Simpson Vans. And Maggie and Lisa was on it too. I think.
I know they were like the best color purple too.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'll post a picture. I don't think I'll get in trouble for that because it's product.
Yeah. If
and
anything, you're just making sales on the side.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah, because it's a pretty freaking cool shoe. And I almost wish that I could fit into it, but it is way too tiny for me.
Well, when you sent the picture, I was just like, I didn't realize they were kids' shoes. Like just from like the thumbnail on like the home screen of my phone, I was like, "Are you gonna buy those?"
Yeah.
And then I saw they're like, "They'll fit your big toe." Only.
I was thinking about getting them for like Link or Bugle,
Oh.
but they were now too big for these guys. You know.
Why can't there just be a fucking in betweeny?
Bugle.
Like I like The Simpsons.
He's also been having Bugle has we've made BBBs BBB acronym.
Bugle's butt burps.
Yeah,
They're strong.
They stink and they are loud. And it's not like I'm feeding him any junk food.
No, you're like, here's your regular standard kibble.
And
then
you're the one that spoils them.
Oh wait, I gave him a treat.
Yeah, so he was tooting away today.
It like shakes the whole house. It rumbles. And then he looks at his butt while he's farting. That's how long it lasts. If you think about like a normal like Bugle butt burp, it should be pretty quick, but you don't have time to like think about the fact that it's coming out of your butt. It just happens. He was watching it happen and listening to it.
Like if your ear was to the ground, you'd be able to feel how close he was to you.
And he was like in the front row of like this like symphony orchestra, just like watching it all go down and enjoying the experience. Oh yeah, he's on another level.
So for the people that don't really know how we met, because we met a while ago.
Yeah.
Is it 8 years now?
It's over 8 years ago. 2012, September 2012.
Wow. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, so it will be probably like 8.5 years now.
Yeah, I met her in film class.
Yeah.
And I walked in, she was already sitting down.
I was hiding.
Trying to hide.
Well, I was like...
Trying to hide from me.
From me? First of all, I was a fourth year student.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to just like finish up.
It was like a second year course.
It was. You had to pass it. It was
Yeah.
film history part 2. So it was like a little bit more interesting. Well, no, I like the early film history, but it was like a lot less about like, you know what I mean? Anyways, yeah, I was hiding off to the side, and because I was like, I'm not gonna make any friends in this class, that's for sure. Let me just graduate.
I come in, I scope, I do one little bing.
And he came and sat down right beside me.
I think I gave a seat gap.
Yeah, you did.
I gave a seat gap because I wanted to be respectful and not get into anybody's personal space either, because I saw it as a place where I could sit. You look nicer than compared to most of the people that I've met at Laurier. So like I would scope the room, right?
Not
I'm
really
like
a compliment.
It is.
I'm joking.
I was like, no. I think she looks cool.
Like the whole row is empty.
Plus, you kind of had more of a trendy vibe towards my vibe. You know,
Yeah.
you could feel it.
Oh yeah, I watched you walk in, and I was like,
I was probably wearing my fedora.
I think you might have been.
That fedora has been in my life for a while. I still
When did
have
you buy
it.
that fedora?
Well, just before that, I think. First year,
Justin to impress.
I think. So,
Beautiful.
holy smokes.
Never get rid of it.
We used to smoke cigarettes together.
I'm gonna get in trouble. No,
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, we used to smoke Belmonts. What
Yeah,
was it, outside of the Daub?
yeah, the Daub, the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was kind of cool. Like Laurier was cool in a way that it was like a nice campus.
it's like a block by a block, basically. I went to go see it with my best friend, like on a tour.
Mm-hmm.
I took one step out of the car and I was like, yep, I'm going here. I was like, I just know it.
Yeah,
This is where I want to go.
it feels very welcoming, but then once you get to the nightlife, I didn't find it very welcoming. I found it very raunchy.
Raunchy. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess, like, the only explanation I would have for it is, like, no offense to anyone that went to Laurier. I'm not taking offense because I'm cool and you're cool. But, like, a lot of people that go there are very basic, boring,
Mm-hmm.
like, one-dimensional bros and broads, that whole concept. I remember when I was in first year and everyone was talking about that, and I was like, that's not me. But, yeah, so, like, when you mix alcohol with that, all those, it's kind of like the preppy people and like the athletic people, and so they're kind of gross when they start drinking, you know.
So gross. And think about how many STDs.
Ugh.
Think about the STDs. Like
Yeah.
STDs is like a normal thing, but
Yeah.
there it's a common thing.
Oh,
It's not like it's not just normal thing. It's common, like, and it's like they're all sharing the same girl too.
Well, that's what's so weird. Like, I remember someone saying the ratio of guys to girls is 4-1, and I was like, great. All my friends at university were guys because I don't really get along with girls that much, and I was like, that's cool. But I was like, I didn't meet like one. I met one guy that was like decently cool, and he was like, I snowboard, and I was like, that's cool. At least you're not a fucking football player. But for the most part, I was like, I'm not gonna meet a guy here that's like someone that would have the same interests as me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until I needed to graduate and had to take a second year course when I was 3 years older than you. And that's why when you walked in, I was just like, oh, interesting. I was like, I've never seen someone like you here before. And I was like,
yeah, I'm new here.
Oh my. Yeah. And then he sat beside me. It's like he got my message. I think we were communicating on a different level. So that's cool.
I thought it was really cool. And then I didn't want to go to Laurier anymore. And then we didn't talk for another 7 years.
Yeah.
Like,
a long time.
Yeah. We talked on and off sometimes. Like, very, like, but at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it died off.
Yeah, and then like maybe like I feel like maybe in like 2015 I messaged you and I was just like, hey, like, because I saw that you went to Humber and that you're doing stuff with film, and I remember being like, I'm so happy for you. The last message that we exchanged like in those years was like, I said, I'm glad that like you're doing this because this is what you wanted. And I was like really happy and proud for you.
I'm still trying to do this, but at least she's still proud of me.
Of course. It takes a lot of guts and to follow your dreams. It's not an easy thing to do, and a lot of people never figure out what it is that would be that for them. So I have nothing but respect for people like you.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But I'm here to say that I respect you and your fine work ethic. That's seriously. You how many paintings do you put out a month? 4?
Yeah, I used to do, well, whatever. Yeah, it's 1 per week is my goal. And it's been steady. I'm very grateful for the people who have supported my creative endeavors. It's it means a lot, you know?
Yeah, I agree, because honestly, it's what you're doing is you're creating a memory and nostalgia for these people.
Yeah. Like when I was in high school, my favorite class was always art class. I always excelled a lot, but it was very like restricted. It's not a place where you go to develop your own style, or you have to dabble in every single medium, you know, sculpture,
Right.
fucking sketching, like stuff like that. And I was like, painting was always my favorite, but I actually, a lot of people have my paintings from probably like a decade plus ago. Watercolor. That was what I did. My stepdad taught me how to paint watercolor when I was 8. And I developed my own style when I was in grade 9. And like I won awards for my pieces actually when I was 14, but my teacher didn't support it because we had to follow a curriculum, you know? So it's like, that's good that you like this, but we're never going to do watercolor because it's too expensive for public school. So
Yeah,
I had to do it on the side.
It's cool. So am I allowed to say his name? Your stepdad?
Oh yeah, James. Yeah.
Okay. So James knows how to paint very well?
Yeah, he bought me like my first palette. He bought me all my brushes, and it was like something we would just do in the evenings as an activity. And he wasn't like an expert by any means, but he really enjoyed doing it. And so like that's something like nice that we shared together.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
But it's funny because like with watercolor, you have to wet all the paper first, and you have to water down the paint a lot. And then you kind of just like let it bleed together. You have to really have a lot of control. And I would just take the piece of paper and like paint like a smiley face, like as if it was like markers. And he's like, that's good, but
yeah, maybe try a little harder.
Yeah. But like all the paintings I did with him, I gave to my teachers. So I don't have them anymore. As presents, I would give them away.
Oh, that's kind of sweet. You've always been sweet, I guess, too.
Sweet.
Even little Tosh.
Even little Tosh, yeah.
Little Tash.
Little Tasha. Don't say that.
Little Tasha.
But yeah, I started painting acrylic.
I said Tash.
Is that Dirty Dan?
That's Dirty Dan.
Oh, shit.
I'm backing at him again. Tosh.
You never know when fucking Dirty Dan's going to come out.
My name is Tosh. Yeah, that's what I said. Tash.
Oh, sorry. You have a speech impediment.
No,
okay.
No, I said Tash.
Yeah, sounds right. It's good enough. I'm just going to drop it. Yeah. But yeah, I started painting acrylics when I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
I only have 3 acrylic paintings I ever did. And then I didn't paint for almost a decade because I was such a perfectionist that I never enjoyed it. It was very frustrating. So I gave up on it. And then when COVID happened, I was like, I want to do this. So it's something that I do almost every day now.
Yeah, well, I understand about the precision part.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
the
of course you do.
part is
frustrating.
Everything, yeah, because you want everything to sound so perfect. Or, sorry, for us, for me, you wanted everything to look so perfect and be so accurate and all of this stuff. That's what happens to artists, and then they go crazy.
Yeah, I feel like they're the most fucking psycho people in the world sometimes. But you know what's interesting with the watercolor? I used to use India ink. So you had to, with a calligraphy pen, to do outlines. So you have to be so precise. And that's why I would get frustrated. But with acrylic, I found, and I've grown into it, which is like, you have your own style, just depending on like how you use your brushes. So as long as you get the precision is there, like it's a little bit more forgiving, I guess. And it looks like you develop your own style. So I'm happy with how that's gone, and I plan to continue doing that.
Well, and what we've been talking about so far, ladies and gentlemen, and them, they use people's
use guys, listeners is
my butt fucks,
your flannelists.
My flannelists, yeah, that's right. Flannelist.
Oh, my flannelist. Flannel ding dong. Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about her custom paintings currently, which are beautiful. So again, it's you're making all these custom paintings, but now you're also making the paintings that you want to make.
Yeah. I think I got back to it. I went on like a bit of a lot of the same stuff for a while, which I do appreciate, but I'm like, man, I want to be challenged in a different way. I'm just going to have to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people will see it and be like, cool, because I sold almost all the paintings that I've done that I wanted to do. People bought those. So that's cool instead of made to order. So right now I bought a circle panel canvas and I'm doing a painting of Jareth from Labyrinth, David Bowie's character, the Goblin King.
And if you haven't seen Labyrinth, we both highly suggest it.
Oh my God. It was my favorite movie when I was a kid.
David Bowie is so cool.
Oh,
and also it's like that kind, it's not the claymation, it's the like special effects that like the dark crystal or whatever is like kind of like that.
Like the Muppets.
Yeah, Muppets and stuff like that. Oh, it's
Jim Henson.
It's creepy. It's creepy, but also very cool and interesting and lighthearted. Shouldn't say lighthearted.
It seems like it's going to be a very heavy film, like it's not for kids, but there are some parts that are like, there's like singing. David Bowie sings with the goblins.
There's singing, and that's a whole nother podcast. But essentially, we've been talking about it before. Is that there's been those the Grimm brothers. They always believe that you should show kids scary things, but make it a family film or a family gathering experience, because hey, I'm here to help you and protect you from these things. So you understand that they're there.
You're not naive.
And you know what's going on. You know how to take them down if you have to. But I'm here protecting you right now, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, I love that actually.
You know, so there's definitely that kind of trend in these things. So it feels like it's going to be heavy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It was scary. I remember being a little scared, but then I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's balanced, I think, which is important. But you're right. Absolutely. That's really interesting.
Maybe you should do a painting of David Bowie or something.
Like just as himself?
No, in the Labyrinth.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait, is that what she just said? Oh, yes. That is what she just said. Wow, if anyone is listening, okay, like I don't know what's going on. My memory keeps getting worse and worse. So if you're a doctor, please help me.
If you're a head doctor,
just a memory doctor.
Come take a look in my noggin.
Yeah, like maybe rattle around whatever's left. Because you know, I've been electrocuted a lot of times in my life.
You have?
Yeah, there's been a couple times. Once I was in Southfield, Michigan. Southfield's a part of like one of the boroughs of Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
And that's where my mom and stepdad's office were. And I was unplugging her laptop and I got like one of those shocks. It's not like the full voltage where you're like stuck there, but you feel it. And then, well, at least for me, I don't know if it unplugged or whatever.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
And then there was a second time. I was playing bass in my room, plugged in, amp on, right? And I went to turn off the light in my closet, but there was some exposed metal and wiring, and I created a full circuit.
Oh, fuck.
Right?
Yeah.
And I got zzz, So that's probably a bit about it. And this is a tangent, and I'm probably gonna forget where I was going with everything in the first place. So maybe I should just stop doing that, and maybe I should just, give me some memory. Like,
You can have some of mine. I don't need it.
Just upgrade my PC parts, please. Okay, please. I need it. Help me.
Help me. Give me some more RAM too while you're at it.
Yeah. Thinking capabilities. At the same time, multitasking, please.
Got it. Got you covered.
I want to talk about your paintings a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
How much does it cost to get one of your paintings? Like, your custom versus what you've made personally.
That's a good question. For pet portraits, I charge $150.
Okay.
That's a 12 by 12 canvas.
And that's why you charge $150, because it's that size as well, right?
Yeah, there are formulas. It's a little awkward, I'm sure but you learned a lot about it when you were in school, like what you should be charging. That's a big part of it, right? But for artists, I mean, the same canvas could go for like $600 for somebody else. It just depends. For someone who's like starting out or more amateur level, it's about $1 per square inch. So 12 times 12 is 144. Plus materials, like whatever. It's technically under. But I also go by, like, I charge an hourly rate for the pet portraits. Usually like, at least over 5 hours total. So, but for anything that's like a person or like the horror series that I did, I was charging $200 to $250 because those were taking a very long time. People are much harder.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
For sure. Like, and I've seen all the steps that you've taken, and there's, I'd say most of the paintings I've seen you personally do, which are mainly dogs.
Yeah.
I'd say you've put in more than 8 hours.
Yeah, depending.
Like, and we know that because we've made a video.
Yeah, Dan made.
We made a video. So actually, how can we find it? It's on your Facebook.
It is.
Is it on your Instagram?
It is. Yeah, it is. And then you also put it on your YouTube channel.
Yes, I did, and
Which
that was Flannel and Flannel with Daniel.
Yeah.
So if you want to see it, it's very cool. It's a time lapse. So what do we make it? 2-3 minutes?
2 minutes 42 seconds, I think.
Something like that. It's beautiful. It's very, very fun.
Oh, Dan did an amazing job when he like changed the angles and stuff like that, or like when further out. So it keeps your attention span, like you thought that through.
Yeah, I was cutting pretty well. Just, make it more interesting, because it's not, it's cool to hold it in a wide, but only for like some specific things. This one was a wide where I could cut in, and we did that for safety anyways, because it was our first time doing it.
Yeah.
We were using a camera that we've never used before too.
Yeah, it's like a GoPro, but
it's the wide angle lens, but you still can't, like, the monitor's too small.
Yeah.
We got to figure out something for that, but we just couldn't see the proper angle, what was going on.
Yeah.
And we also had to set it up a certain way, because we kept somehow rattling the camera too.
Yeah, and it's my fault. Like, I don't paint top down. Sometimes I pull it really close, or I hold it up on an angle that like it's not very ideal. So I was like, sometimes I had to finish up painting with a camera off, because I'm like, I can't paint top down when it's far away. Like, it's actually really hard. I feel like I lose control over what I'm doing, but
I understand that.
I think you nailed it. It's like I don't even know how many times I've watched that video. Like, it's saved on my phone or whatever, but
yeah,
it's
really cool to watch back your work too, from a different perspective.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I like what you did with it.
Which is a different perspective of your work.
Yeah, but I'm complimenting your skills.
Thank you. You don't have to, like, I'm trying to compliment you. See how this relationship works, guys? Like, we just compliment each other so much that we want to fight. We want to fight to the death, because
like, no, I love you more. No, you're the best.
No, you're the best.
Shut up. You're the best.
I said you're the worst.
You're the most best.
So actually, Tosh has painted me quite a few paintings.
Yeah.
Most of them you've probably seen, but if you have not, you can go to my Instagram. But there's or Tosh's Instagram. There's the boy, I forget his first name, but
Sam.
Sam from Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah.
We got Bill Murray from Steve Zissou and The Life Aquatic. Or is it The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou? I forget.
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Yeah, it's one of the two. I always forget. What else do I have? I have Uma Thurman.
Kill Bill.
Yeah, I've got a Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such and there's like the quote is on it too, and it's like such a nice painting because I asked for it personally where I wanted the black bars on the top and the bottom so it still looked like film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
very
that
cool.
scene is shot in black and white.
Yeah, so it's black and white and it's just mint. Every single thing has been mint from you.
Well, here I go, like complimenting you back, but I think I've said it on another episode before, but you're the one who inspired me to start painting people because I wasn't, and you asked for Steve Zissou or Willem Dafoe's character from Life Aquatic, and I was like, I don't know if I can do that, and I practiced.
I remember that.
I was like, okay, it was gonna take me a while, and then I did it, and then so
it was like magical, like how great you were right at the beginning. Like you just tried it and you did it.
Yeah, I think it's because I was painting it for you.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. But anyways, yeah, so thank you for your inspiration and motivation.
You're welcome.
Anyways.
I will have to pee soon. I don't know. Do you have to pee soon? Because I got it. Of course you don't. My bladder has just been like, am I dying?
Like I'm peeing uncontrollably. I'm losing my memory. What else?
But it's also, I also have like quit caffeine for the most part. I had a little bit of caffeine today. Well, actually I have pop. Like I drink pop sometimes. So there's caffeine.
What kind of pop?
Dr. Pepper.
Hell yeah.
He fixes me up.
Well, yeah, then what are you saying? You've seen a doctor almost every day, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, but I don't drink coffee anymore.
That's huge.
I don't drink energy drinks as much as I want to because I really, really want to. I had some coffee today, but that was a couple sips from yours.
Yeah.
And that was also because we were doing a long day of work.
That's right.
Yeah, we're still working.
I mean, like, kudos to you. I quit caffeine for one day and I thought I was going to die. I fell asleep at 8 o'clock at night, which never happens. Slept for 12 hours almost. Woke up the next day with a horrible migraine and I was like, nope, not during RSP season. Thank you.
Yeah, see, the good thing for me was that we were on lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a perfect time, actually.
So, well,
thank you, COVID.
Yeah, like I quit smoking and caffeine at
So
like the
proud of you.
same time.
That's a lot.
However, I broke my cigarette thing and I called her like right away. It's like,
Relapse.
I was like, how are you? Yeah. I'm like, I've got a confession to make. And you're like, did someone wear your slippers?
Yeah.
And I was
You're like, that's what you care about, you asshole. I was like,
I was like, you're worried about the slippers? Like, it's not like I'm cheating on you or something like that.
You're like, I fucked someone else. I'm like, but are the slippers okay? And you're like, yeah, they're fine. I'm like, okay.
No, I was like, okay. So I was like, I have a confession to make. I smoked a cigarette. She's, are the slippers okay?
Priorities.
Yeah, I hear that.
But yeah, I'm proud of you. Speaking of caffeine withdrawal. But yeah, that's a big, like, I feel like nicotine and caffeine are more addictive than a lot of street drugs.
But I do recommend to people that I do think that you should at least try. And when I say try, I think that you should try it for the 21 days that you were saying.
Yeah.
The 3 weeks, because it'll be out of your system.
And those 3 weeks fly by. The painful first couple days, but then you're just like, oh, before you know it, you're like, fuck, I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
It takes 21 days to break a habit and form
I've always had sleep issues. I have terrible restless leg syndrome, but want to know something?
What?
I haven't thought about it once in the past week.
Oh yeah, you haven't said anything about it.
I don't think I've had restless legs.
Amazing.
But I mean, like, I have been waking up kind of at weird times, but I fall back asleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, no restless legs. And it's probably because I'm back to work finally.
Yeah.
Instead of the whole 2,000 steps in a day that I took during lockdown.
Which is mostly on my staircase.
Oh, so many stairs. Yeah, flights of stairs during lockdown was a different thing. But I do about 25,000 steps in a day.
That's a lot.
Like during the week, not so much on the weekend unless I have like a shifter or something like that. But yeah, 25,000 per day is just unheard of. It's
insane.
like 25 kilometers.
You know, like tough people work to get to like 10,000, and that's like unreal for them.
Mm-hmm.
More than doubled it. Like it's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was showing someone my Fitbit the other day, and I was just showing them a feature of it, and it popped up with my steps, and it said 15,000 steps, and it was like 4 p.m. or something like that.
Fuck.
Not even 4 p.m. And the guy was like, "Yo, good job." I'm like, "This ain't nothing."
You're like, shut up, you don't even know me. And then,
Yeah.
and then you run away.
You don't know me. Just get out of here. You don't need a Fitbit. Get out of here.
Take it to the
Get
San
out.
Vicente.
Are you kidding it? It's actually, you can make that joke about malls now. Like, are you kidding? It's going to be jammed at this time.
Are you crazy? It's going to be jammed.
Yeah. It's like, seriously, it's the malls are always jammed because Torontonians suck ass sometimes. And
They really do.
Like, still don't think we should have opened up yet. But yeah, you know, like I can't control that. I haven't been able to control anything during COVID other than my ejaculations.
You have full control over those.
For the most part, yeah.
I mean, oh no, he's lost control. Somebody get a towel. I'm just kidding. That's gross.
I don't need a full towel.
Just like a hand towel, face cloth.
Face cloth, yeah.
No, you need a fucking bath towel, a beach towel. You know, ironically, like Ford wanted to reopen the economy, but didn't you say it's been crazy because like since you opened, everyone returning stuff, the economy was doing better during lockdown because people were buy, not in sync, buy, like buying. And then now that this open, they can return their shit. So like companies are losing money.
Yeah, it's true. Like luckily I work at a place where we can make enough money on the weekends. Right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out there that cannot do that. I mean, currently there's not a lot of things you can return anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Because I'd say it's kind of weird. Like there's like a beauty boutique in the mall that's open. I don't understand why that's open.
Everyone needs to be looking good.
Like meanwhile, like half the places can't even open.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a priority by any means.
Yeah, no.
It's just been a lot of galas and people need to get just like jazzed right up for it. So
yeah, so like I guess you can't like, you know, the booze stores are open. You can't return booze.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's against the law. You can't return it.
Yeah, actually I never thought about it.
I think before at one point you could, and then there was so many scams that were happening at LCBO. One time I heard that someone returned a 26er of vodka and it was literally just water at.
Oh, that would be so easy. Yeah, like here's my Smirnoff.
You know what? I decided that I didn't like vodka at all.
It would be like really funny though. Like Alberta Premium, right, is like almost like a dark honey color, like rye. And if someone just filled it with water because they didn't know and they tried to return it.
But what if that person was that stupid?
They'd be like,
and
"Oh, I'm
returned it
sorry
anyways?"
that you didn't want to try it." They're like, "Yeah, I definitely didn't try it." And like the
Yeah, I
lid is just
definitely
like,
didn't try it.
Yeah, I'm done with that stuff. Just wanted to kick my habit. Anyways, speaking of malls.
Speaking of malls, we're going to be right back from a break in a second, okay? Because Danny boy, you got to pee. You got to pee. I'm not going to stop recording because I'll lose track of time and video.
Oh, yeah.
I just rather.
But I don't have
keep
to
it
say
going.
anything.
You can keep talking. It's not going to be a big deal because I'll cut it out.
Okay, then I won't say anything.
Like, I'm not going to keep in dead space.
Do you hear something? I hear it too. It's like a low vibration or something.
I think it's a car.
Or like speakers. I don't know.
It felt like the car at the end of the street or whatever.
The one that tried to hit you earlier?
Was that the noise?
I don't know. It looks like it could have like
It
a...
looks like it's stupidly noisy, but it made zero sound when it was backing out.
Yeah, the silver one, right?
Yeah.
Looked like a Honda or something.
Honda Civic with a stupid fucking spoiler.
Classic. Classic mistake.
I saw a post the other day with a do-it-yourself spoiler.
Ew.
It was just wood. Like screwed in.
Classic. That's actually so funny. Boom. 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 You're really going for it.
Can we listen to that song really quick?
Yes. I love that song.
She drives me crazy. I'm guessing that's the title of this song.
Yeah, like who even sings that? Who sings that?
The Animals, maybe?
The Animals.
I have no idea. Fine Young Cannibals. I was close.
Oh, yeah. I wish I knew it. Oh, I need to look at the lyrics for sure.
I can't stop.
Oh my god, there's a music video? I've never seen it. it's 88.
It's old. Yeah, 92. We're pretty much the same age.
No.
Only 3 years old. Oh, the funny thing is, this is a great segment too. And we're back. We just listened to the Fine Young Cannibals. She drives me crazy, and that just leads me into what I really wanted to talk about today. And I'm glad that you're here because, well, we know movies, we know film, we know television, we know a lot of different things. And what I respect about the most about filmmakers is that there's not just one fine area you can talk about. You can talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I love about this filmmaker, George A. Romero. He is a wonderful filmmaker, R.I.P. Because I feel terrible about that.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
No. 2017, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember hearing the news the day it happened. I was very sad. I don't get sad about most like people I don't really know.
Yeah, I know some people lose their shit when like people famous die or whatever, but
Heath Ledger died, and I was like I like him and stuff, but cool. I know that sounds terrible, but
but I guess you're looking at Romero like he lived a very long, full life, and he did a lot of cool fucking shit. So
this is true too. Yeah. Not to say that Heath Ledger didn't do that, but like the cool stuff. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about is apparently they're calling it the Dead series.
the Dead series?
Yeah, they're
Oh.
calling it the Dead series. I was calling it Romero's universe. It's hard to like. They both sound so good.
I like
right?
yours better.
I kind of like mine better too, of course.
I think you should just leave it like that. Honestly, sounds really badass.
So I think what we need to talk about is that Zack Snyder is releasing a new film in in homage to George A. Romero's universe.
Beautiful.
Right? He's
yeah.
I think he's gonna try to add on to it. But I've been reading articles after the trailer came out this past week, and the articles that are reading into all of this stuff don't even know his work. Like, they're talking about irrelevant shit. You know, they don't even know how many movies he's made.
How do people have jobs like this? Like, I don't
That's what
even
I'm
get
saying.
it.
I think that they should be hiring me instead. Like, you know.
Yeah. You're like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
And hopefully it's people like that hear this podcast. And is that me or you?
I don't know.
Huh, I think it might have been me. Here's this podcast and and reaches out to us because we'd love that. We'd love to be able to work for, you know, the people that need all the facts and to replace the people that don't do the work, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like this person's article was on how he's going to remake George A. Romero's like series or something like that. And I said, no. Zack Snyder, however, did remake Dawn of the Dead in 2004. That's fine. We all know that. But he's not looking to remake another film because there's no films in the Dead series or the Romero universe that's that has the name Army of the Dead.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's got to be a continuation.
It must be. These just fucking noobs don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be a continuation of some sort. And now getting into this, why do we respect, or why do I respect George A. Romero so much, even though he's just writing about zombies, right? And also, he never made the term zombies. He never said it. In the first film, Night of the Living Dead in 1968, he never talked about zombies. He talked about walkers, or the Walking Dead.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
So what happened was, when people were watching this, they related it to earlier films that they had seen, like what the White Zombie, right?
Yeah.
And essentially, in this kind of so what I'm trying to say is, the walkers that George A. Romero made were similar to something earlier on, which was a part of Haitian voodoo, but it was not the same thing. There was no cannibalism, right? They did roam the earth as dead people, though, right? So this Haitian voodoo, it was like you know, the witch doctor that would that would blow the powder onto your face. It would seep through your pores or into your nose and orifices, and then you would die and live forever in agony, I guess, because like you're gonna see all of your dead, or all of your family and friends die.
Yeah, you'll just be alone forever.
And you're
why
not
the
even
punishment?
you're not even a vampire, right? You're not even a vampire or anything. You're just dead and living.
Why the punishment?
I don't know.
Yeah, like it must have been for a reason for certain people, no?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, fuck, I don't know what the politics were then.
What, you don't?
No, I don't. Yet. I guess I'm gonna have to do that research too now.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, but that's what happened. So originally, those people were called zombi, right? So zombie became zombies, and it was a pop culture term. It was basically brought along by this cult, right? This cult that followed this film and loved it. So in the first film, it's definitely a statement on society and how racist we are, right?
Yes.
Because the most remarkable scene is at the very end. Ben, the black man, the main character of the film, finally makes it through everything, and he's looking out the window, and there's a band of white guys with guns cleaning up zombies, just shoots him dead. Doesn't even know if this black man is a zombie.
Just shoots first, ask questions later.
Didn't have to ask questions later because they're not checking to see if he was ever a zombie.
Oh.
It's very sad. But the cool thing is about that, the year it was released, the first film, 1968, was when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was making a statement upon that.
Very interesting. Okay, yeah. Wow.
So there's a lot of relations that come through with this. And I'm sure there's more from the first one.
I like, it's kind of eye-opening. I didn't know Romero was so...
And also, let's just say, for all of you fucking Americans that think your goddamn horror films are goddamn good, Romero's Canadian.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but Romero, he the king of zombie films.
He the king.
So any other zombie filmmakers, like, no, I guess not just Americans, English guys like fucking Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
Right? Danny Boyle's a whole different universe though, because
Very different.
he was trying to make a different universe from Romero, but he successfully did it. Not many people are successful, I'd say.
That's true.
Like, I Am Legend, World War Z, or World War Z for stupid Canadians.
First you hate on Americans, now you're hating on Canadians.
Yeah, I'm
Pick a side.
no, I'm an independent country.
I'm right in between the borders.
I'm an independent country. You got nothing on me.
Okay, fine. Have your opinions then.
What I'm trying to say is not a lot of people successfully did it. I guess Resident Evil is another one.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that a little bit, or I'll just say it now. I found out that George A. Romero wrote a version of what was supposed to be the first Resident Evil. So they were trying to bring him on in the original place. He turned it down and then was like, kind of came along, was like, okay, fine, I'll write something. But then was in competition with someone else and lost. Which is okay. I don't think he really wanted to make a different universe. He's been so great with his own universe because what he does is makes new rules and establishes them in every movie. So I'd say there's one a movie. He buries it into your head. It's almost like an M. Night Shyamalan movie where he's talking about something larger. Right? So it's, again, about society's issues. Right? So let's move on. Dawn of the Dead, number 2. What did we learn from that? Do you remember what I was telling you the other night?
About malls?
Yeah, it was about malls. Malls were a new thing. They were the new thing in the 70s, right? So everyone was going to them because it was the fondest of places, and there was families there. There was kids and their friends hanging out. Like, everyone was cool. But what established the rule was the zombies went back to the mall. And this rule is zombies have memories. And they go to their fondest of memories first. I know that's kind of like a weird kind of way to explain things, but it's kind of cool because, like, why would zombies go back to a mall if they died somewhere else?
Yeah. No, when you told me that, my mind was so blown. I thought, especially with the remake too, I was like, oh, maybe it's just for shooting. Like, they thought that would be cool or different, or it was easy. You know what I mean? Because it was all contained in one space.
The original was also still in a mall, right? The remake as well.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Romero was so like conscious, or obviously like a filmmaker, you have to be a critical thinker, but some people aren't really like that. You know?
Yeah. And I like the way you said that, conscious of what he's actually trying to say, because he mixed it in so well.
Yeah. So relevant.
That you don't think about it.
Not at all.
We also didn't grow up in that time, so maybe it was very relevant at the time.
But it's funny, like my parents, well, were not horror fans at all, but they've never ever talked about that whole like mall concept. Like, I had no idea until you said it the other night. And I was like, what?
I learned this in school.
Really?
Yeah, I learned this in school. And while I was like, I wrote a fucking essay.
Oh.
Not a thesis, but an essay for Edward Norton.
The Edward Norton again.
No, it was a different Edward Norton. But nonetheless, I thought it was him, and it was not.
Yeah, like when you saw your like syllabus or whatever, you were like, oh my god.
I'm like, this can't be real. This is a fucking joke.
Our guest professor this semester will be Mr. Edward Norton.
I think I would have turned gay for a semester then.
There's nothing wrong with experimenting for the right one.
So the mall, fondest of memories, but that also establishes that if your family were to be at a mall and you knew that and then you died because you got bit, you'd go directly to that mall and kill them.
that's kind of sad.
It's very sad, but that's the truth about it.
That's the way she rolls, yeah.
Yeah. The third Day of the Dead is when we find out, and the new rule is that we know that they have motor skills, and those memories are more fond, right? More vivid than we could ever remember, or not remember or think of. Where they give, I can't remember what they named the zombie. I think it was Ted or something. But they give this zombie a cassette player and headphones, and the zombie puts it on and presses play. So the reason why I'm talking about these rules, though, is because they are the rules that created this entire zombie universe that Romero made, and many have jumped on the bandwagon with, right? This guy made this universe.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, The Walking Dead, biggest thing, one of the biggest shows ever. What I liked about that, and what Romero hasn't really done too much, is human versus human during this apocalypse.
That's true.
And I think that in my predictions, with everything that I'm saying right now, and assuming that Zack Snyder is going to be adding a new rule, I do believe it's going to be something that has to deal with survival, human versus human.
I actually think that you could be,
but
right.
I don't know what it could be, though, right? Because he's hopefully he's smart, and maybe he knew George A. Romero. I would love to be able to interview.
Must have, if he, like, not just an admirer. I'm sure they consulted, or like
they had to have consulted, and I do want to. I'm actually going to look it up. John Rousseau, I believe, is the guy's name.
I have a prediction for what Army of the Dead will be about. Like what the role will be.
Okay. What is it?
I think it'll actually be about a group of people in the army who are not, like, say, like, they're not in, if they're Americans, they're not in America, like, they're, I don't know, what do you call it? Whatever, on the lines, whatever, and they get infected. I think the rule will be that they will have some sort of combative skills, like not retention of memory, but retention of actual, like, skill, and it will only be applicable because they're to do with people who are in the army. It's probably not what it's going to be, but I mean,
no, I like, the one thing we do know without watching trailers and stuff is that the movie will be about a heist.
oh,
right? So it's
never mind.
so we do know that it's still human versus human, but the skill retention that you're talking about via zombie in this, because it's not just about zombies ever in these films,
No,
right?
that's true.
Yeah, there are some cool scenes about zombies, but it's about more than that. And I think you're kind of right. I've seen a picture with a zombie airborne, right? And if he's airborne, that's never. I don't think that's ever happened
I doubt it. Yeah.
in a George A. Romero film.
So to be like different, whereas like Army of the Dead, you think of just a bunch of like zombies that are like violent and are going to come for you, which like obviously they're violent with unintentionally, but it's kind of like The Walking Dead, where like walkers are not necessarily referring to the zombies, it's referring to the people who, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like kind of similar to that.
So Chris D'Elia was supposed to be a part of this, but
I
I don't see his name on the cast anymore.
wonder why. Wow.
There's also a lot of people in this movie.
It'll be pretty exciting to be a part of that.
Yeah. Oh my God, did they take them off? We got to find this out. Okay, okay, so do you have another theory on what might happen?
Well, I think. Wait, what was your thing? What was your guess about the rule?
Well, I think I don't really know because like how can you make more rules other than also because we know it's airborne. Like what else are we going to learn from this? Like I guess right now it could be about wearing masks.
Yeah.
And not spreading your fucking germs.
God, like we've heard enough of that.
Maybe we should just start putting, that's what would solve everything. We just catch the zombies, put masks on them.
Problem solved. Maybe your work here is done.
Oh my God. They replaced Crystalia. Oh, they did.
Good. That's for the best, I think.
In reshoots. Oh, it's from LA Times. So let me read it. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is amazing. Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead replaces Crystalia with Tig Notaro. And that happened in August.
Burn. Well, when you told me Crystalia was in, I was kind of like, that's for the best.
We kept talking about like what was gonna happen because we kept thinking that he was gonna stay in it too.
Yeah, that's so awkward. Okay, I have a theory.
Okay.
I think that it won't. It could be skill retention, or I don't think this is a rule. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm the expert. But you know, like in Shaun of the Dead, like Nick Frost's character turns into a zombie, and then he keeps him, like Simon Pegg keeps him in the shed.
Right.
So it's almost like it's not retention, but think about, and I'm thinking about it in like not in a literal way. I'm thinking about people in the army having to have massive amounts of control. Imagine if the zombies could turn on or turn off, like actually have control over like their violence or like whatever. I'm just saying maybe it could be something like that because Nick Frost's character, I think he's chained up, but like he doesn't try to eat Simon Pegg.
He does.
Well, like yes and no, but like it's not the same.
He comes in and he's bringing him food.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa, like chill out.
I
like,
know, but like I know it's comedic, but at the same time, it's like he has a little bit more. Maybe he feels a little bit more empathy, or you know what I mean. It's not the same. I'm just saying, like maybe like these zombies will have.
There's no way he had more empathy because he was a dirtbag in that movie. So turning him into a zombie would not make
it wouldn't make sense with his character.
No.
Okay, then my prediction is just that they'll have more control over their impulses. Like someone in the army would be taught.
Okay.
You're like, I don't think
I don't know though. No, I'm not. No, I'm agreeing with you because I don't know. But it is cool just to think about like how many, and this is how we're going to wrap up, is that we don't know what's going to happen. What we do know is George A. Romero is the one that originally created this universe. And we all want his legacy to continue. And I do believe it should continue because it's relevant, especially the relevance of race, of consumerism, which was another big
capitalism.
Well, consumerism for the mall in Dawn of the Dead. Like we're all subject to this consumerist life, and that's very, very relevant now, even because of COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
People are like, I can't stay inside. I need to go to the mall. I need to go to the mall to do something. Cool. But you're going to die. You know, like that's what I'm saying. Like the zombie attacks will happen. And I fear for the people that got the vaccine already because they might turn into zombies. We never know.
My grandma's on the list.
Don't
Getting her
don't
vaccine
tell me that.
ASAP.
What
My mom
I
texted me yesterday and I was like, no, grandma.
okay. Well, let's hope it's not this the Pfizer one wherever it's from.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Okay. Anyways, maybe it'll show some insight into how everything started. You know, because we don't know how it started ever.
Yeah.
We only know that it's airborne. Because no one knows what actually happened. So I wonder if he's going to have written some sort of plot into why everything is happening. That would be a
Nice.
movie worth watching, because a heist trying to figure out what's happening, they break in. It's not a heist against human versus human. It's a heist against zombies, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if that's it. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
That's a movie worth watching. So I do hope that happens. But again, I do not believe that Zack Snyder would be dumb enough to do another remake of such an amazing director. Now that Zack Snyder has become such an amazing director, and he became an amazing director because of the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time for him to kind of step out and do his own.
Yeah,
He's going to continue the legacy.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he should be doing. If not, we'll just write the next one.
Deal.
Yeah, it feels like we know enough.
Well, you know enough. But I'll help.
Well, I'll train you.
Train me. Bestow your wisdom.
Well, one last time, where can we find you in social media?
On the social medias, you can find me on Instagram at catharsis.on.canvas.
And you can find me now, new and improved, Instagram at Dick Smoothie Douche. And that's just to repeat again, yes, that is Dick Smoothie Douche, all one word.
It looks really nice, all typed like up together.
Yeah, it's kind of
thrown
weird.
off.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it's so nice.
The first time you sent me a message after you changed your handle, I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" I was like, "Where's Flannel and Flannel?"
Flannel and Flannel completely disappeared off the face of the earth.
It's a mystery.
It's
Check
totally
out Dick
weird,
Smoothie
yeah.
Douche for all the new info.
All right.